Hi everyone, I'm Tim Connolly with REMAX Preferred Associates. I want you to picture yourself stepping into your backyard on a hot August afternoon. The sun is high, the air is heavy, and your eyes settle on that one spot where you would just love to have a big mature shade tree. You can almost picture it there. You imagine sitting underneath it, enjoying the shade, and wondering why you didn't plant it years ago. Well, there's an old saying that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is today. Of course, that doesn't mean you run outside, dig a hole, and plant the first tree you can find. You choose the right tree. You look at the soil. You make sure you can care for it. You think about where you want it to grow. But waiting for another 5 years for the weather, the timing, and every other condition to be perfect isn't going to create the shade you want. That reminds me of something Mary's grandmother, who we call Grandma Sue, once told me. She was talking with me about when we should start a family. I remember her saying, if you wait for the perfect time, it'll never happen. Now, she wasn't telling me that planning didn't matter. She was encouraging me to stop looking for the perfect time and begin looking for the right time. Now, of course, she was talking about starting a family, not real estate, but that perspective has really stuck with me over the years. There are important decisions in life when the stars may never perfectly align. At some point, we have to understand what matters, prepare responsibly, and recognize when the right time has arrived. That brings me to the question many people are working through right now. Should I wait for rates to come down? Well, it's a great question, and I understand why it's being asked. Interest rates affect your payment, your purchasing power, the total cost of borrowing money. They matter, and they deserve a meaningful place in the conversation. But I wouldn't want the interest rate to take over the conversation or to make the entire decision for you. If we're sitting across the table from each other, I wouldn't begin by trying to predict where rates will be 6 months or a year from now. I'd begin with what you're trying to accomplish. You may need more space, less maintenance, a shorter commute, or a home that better supports the next stage of your life. You may be ready to stop renting, move closer to family, or just create greater stability. See, that's the purpose of the move. The interest rate is just one of the conditions surrounding it. The rate isn't what caused you to begin thinking about a move. Something in your life created that desire. The rate helps us determine how comfortably and responsibly you can accomplish it. I have this some version anyway of this conversation pretty regularly. People know what they would like to change. They can describe what isn't working and can absolutely picture what a better situation would look like. But then the conversation reaches the interest rate. They'll say something like, I just can't get past paying that rate. Well, I understand that, especially for someone who remembers lower rates or has a very low rate on their current home. But the rate you had before, or the rate you wish was available today, really isn't one of the choices you have in front of you. The real decision is between the life and financial position you have today and the opportunity available to you today. Now, that doesn't automatically mean you should make the move. That also doesn't automatically mean you shouldn't. It means we should really evaluate the choices that actually exist rather than comparing today's opportunity with a perfect version of the past. You see, the goal is not to decide whether today's interest rate is ideal. The goal is to decide whether the move makes sense under today's conditions. That brings us to really probably the most important question in this whole conversation. If interest rates never drop any lower, would this move be comfortably affordable and meaningfully improve your life? Not barely affordable, not something you can make work only if everything goes exactly according to plan. Comfortably affordable, with room for the other parts of your life and the unexpected expenses that come with owning a home. And meaningfully better, because the move accomplishes something that truly matters to you. If the answer is yes, then imperfect rate does not automatically make this the wrong time. It may not be the perfect time, but it may be the right time for you. You've probably heard someone say, something like buy now and refinance later. Well, refinancing may become a valuable opportunity if rates decline, but I wouldn't want you to make today's decision dependent upon that happening. Future rates aren't guaranteed, and neither is someone's ability to refinance. Income, credit, property values, closing costs, and lending requirements can all change. So, my perspective is simple. Refinancing should be a future benefit, not something that today's decision needs in order to succeed. Make the decision using today's payment and today's circumstances. Assume the rate will never be lower. If the home fits your goals, the complete payment is comfortable, and you're well situated even if nothing changes, then you've built the decision on a solid foundation. If rates eventually do decline and you have an opportunity to improve your payment, well, great. That's an added benefit. It isn't something rescuing a bad decision that didn't work from the beginning. You see, there is real confidence in making a decision that can stand on its own. You're no longer relying on a prediction. You're choosing an opportunity that works under the conditions you can actually see. Now, there will be situations where we look at the complete numbers and the payment leaves too little breathing room. The plan may depend on future raises, lower rates, or a quick refinance to become comfortable. In that situation, the right answer may be not yet. That doesn't mean giving up on the goal or putting life on hold indefinitely. It means using the time intentionally. Waiting should have a job. That job could be building savings or reducing debt, improving credit, or strengthening another part of the plan. Now that time has a purpose. You're preparing for an opportunity rather than simply hoping the market eventually becomes perfect. And that leads me to the only other question I would encourage you to consider right now. If now isn't the right time, what specifically will you want the waiting period to improve? If you have a clear answer, that period of preparation may put you in a much stronger position. If the answer is simply, I'm waiting for lower rates, well, then your plan depends on a market prediction that none of us can guarantee. Rates may decline, but other conditions can change along with them. More buyers may enter the market. Competition may increase. Prices and available homes may be different. You see, a lower interest rate doesn't necessarily guarantee a less expensive or an easier move. That's why I wouldn't build this decision around trying to outguess the market. Build this decision around your life, your goals, and whether the complete numbers work comfortably today without counting on rates changing in the near future. So, should you wait for interest rates to come down? Well, not for that reason alone. Don't assume today is the wrong time simply because it isn't perfect. And don't move forward based only on the promise that you can refinance later. Look for the right time. The right time is when your reason for moving is clear, the opportunity meaningfully improves your life, and the numbers work without requiring the future to cooperate. For some people, that time is today. For others, a purposeful period of preparation, that's a lot of P's, will help create the right time. Either way, fear, headlines, and someone else's prediction aren't making the decision for you. You're making an informed decision about the circumstances in your life. And I think Grandma Sue had it right. If we wait for the perfect time, it may never happen. But with good information, responsible preparation, and an honest understanding of what matters to us, we can recognize the right time when it arrives. If you're working through this decision, I'd be happy to sit across the table with you, learn what you're trying to accomplish, and help you evaluate the real options. There doesn't need to be any pressure or a predetermined answer. My goal is to help you make a decision that feels informed, comfortable, and right for your life. I'm Tim Connolly with REMAX Preferred Associates, helping you make confident real estate decisions. Thank you for watching. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.